Can I ask you all a quick question? If the tax reform bill goes through, do you plan to increase investment, your company's investment, capital investment? Just a show of hands, if the tax reform goes through? Okay.
Why aren't the other hands up?
Why aren't the other hands up?
In case you missed it, you
don't
don't
ask
have a
a question you don't know the answer to.
Yeah, there you go. Only a few of the CEOs raised their hands, and Gary Cohn seemed confused by it. I mean, do you think you should rethink this? That is a telling moment.
No, look, if you go back to 2 years ago, President Obama was all about cutting corporate tax rates. He understands, and frankly, honestly, my friends on the other side of the aisle understand that our corporate taxes are way out of line for the rest of the world. You have to adjust with this millennium. We have a tax code from 1986.
That's almost separate though from what we're talking about here. Cutting corporate tax rates would go directly to reinvesting that money to help that would go to the middle class, go to their employees. They didn't raise their hands.
I think it would, but even if that doesn't happen, and I think it would, even if it doesn't, what we're doing is we're motivating companies to stay in the United States. Right now, companies are chasing lower tax rates in other countries. When we sit around and people talk about, Pfizer or these other companies have left the United States for another country, they're not leaving because they have better, IP protection or because they have better regulations. They're leaving because they have a better tax rate. And we can do one of two things. We can either demonize companies that leave, in which case more companies will still leave, or we can actually make ourselves attractive to these companies to stay. And that's what the United States has been so good at for decades, is making ourselves attractive to be the world leader in companies. So I get that a lot of my friends on the other side of the aisle love to attack the boogeyman, which is corporations and everything. But the reality is, if we want people to be employed, we have to make this country attractive to business and job creators. And I think we're going to do that in the
those are CEOs. Those weren't Democrats on the other side who were saying that they weren't raising their hand if they were going to reinvest it. Let me ask you real quick
I wasn't
finally.
at that meeting, but it was definitely a bad visual. That's for sure.
There you go. I know that you've already said that Roy Moore should step aside from the Senate race in Alabama. Would you like to see Jeff Sessions as a write-in?
Fine. I want to see somebody as a write-in. I want to see somebody else as the candidate. Look, I said a week ago, Roy Moore is a bad man. I believe these accusers, and I think he needs to step aside. And frankly, he can call himself a Republican. He's the real rhino, a Republican in name only, because our party needs to disassociate ourselves from him or anybody like him.
Congressman Kinzinger, great to have you. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Take care.
Coming up for us, the hunt for a killer and a community on edge after the fourth unsolved murder in one Florida neighborhood in 11 days. We're going to bring you the latest on an urgent manhunt that is underway right now.